Who are these guys? I mean, really, who are these guys? 4 consecutive games down in the fourth quarter, and all they have done is come back and win, and they are 4-0 to start the season.
I'm in disbelief.
Who are these guys? Welcome to the PHLY Sixers postgame show, live from the Xfinity Lounge. Derek, Kyle, Devon, Bree, all of us in disbelief. As Kyle said, we're presented by Bet365. So much to get to. All of you in the chat, thank you so much. Diehard voicemail call-in line. That's later on. Player of the game pretty quickly here. WTF moments, temperature checks, and the big everything here on this show tonight. What is happening with this basketball team? They are 4-0. They now have a few days off. They host the Boston Celtics on Friday to start the NBA Cup play. And Derek, this team is fun right now. They had us sitting. I already had written up. Everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the show. We are the only post-game show for you after games to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Tell a friend to tell another friend and another friend. The only place to get your Sixers conversation in immediately after the game, right here on the PHLY Sixers post-game show. Derek, Kyle, Devon, Bree, all of you in the chat once again. And Kyle, I mean, as you said, disbelief, but we got to talk about this for about 60 minutes. Dude. So let's talk about it. And Bree, just right away, let's go immediately to how things turned around initially, and let's go to the Ace Hardware temperature check number 1, and that is with Quentin Grimes, the ATO that was called by Ace Hardware temperature check. Make sure you check in with acehardwarehomeservices.com and to get started on your very next project. Quentin Grimes struggling all night, where we were ticked off with this guy with the way that
some of the shots
playing.
he was taking, it was like, boy, what's going on here?
It just wasn't right? And then the ATOs, I got to give credit to Nick Nurse for the ATOs.
Some big-time ATOs.
He had some
tonight.
really good play calls, including the Tyrese Maxey dunk that gave them the lead initially. Well, pardon me, cut the lead to 1, and for him to get that dunk coming out of the timeout to get that play to go. The Ace Hardware temperature check, though, here is Quentin Grimes with 21 points on the night. And the way that he had to get those points by, again, not scoring the basketball the way that we thought he should. He shot 17 times tonight, 7 for 17. He was 3 for 10 from beyond the arc. And he turned the ball over 2 times, but it seemed like he turned the ball over 12 times.
Yeah. Right? Handle was a little loose. He's going to it never felt like he had a grasp on the ball, except for when he was hitting or taking catch and shoot shots. He was feeling it at the exact right moment that he needed to. Here's the thing that I was struck by again tonight watching Quentin Grimes play savior, because he already had the game-winning 3 against Charlotte. This is now emerging as a trend, right? I think a little bit of what you're seeing right now is Pacers-esque from last year, right? Where you have a guy who's an all-NBA, all-star level guard in Tyrese Maxey. Maxey is the featured player, the face of the team right now, the best player on the team on the floor for this opening stretch of games. And he had an incredible night, right? He scores 39 points, 10 assists, all that. But we're watching the game down the stretch and we're saying, this guy doesn't have the legs for jumpers, right? To his credit, he did a lot of his work going to the basket, initiating contact, getting to the free throw line, right? I used the analogy the other night, the run game, right? It's the equivalent of a football team having a run game. You put yourself on the line, you slow the game down, you get a couple cheap ones, then you get back, you have a set defense. But the jumper was gone, basically, after the first quarter. It just was not there. Quentin Grimes, having played less than Tyrese Maxey over these first few games, is coming in, playing in these 3-guard looks, coming in off of the bench with more energy, with more juice in the fourth quarter and in overtime. And before you get to that moment where he hits the big 3 at the end of regulation, he also had that big play tip in on a VJ Edgecombe miss in transition, where that is just as simple as Quentin Grimes is playing and running hard when a lot of other guys in the game don't have anything left at that point, right? And that right now is the strength, or one of the strengths of the Sixers team. They just come at you in waves, right? Like Tyrese Maxey to open the game. 3 threes in like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. And then he's not as involved for a little while. Joel Embiid, 9 for 17 for 25 points in the middle portion of the game. Looks more like himself on offense. He gets going. VJ Edgecombe, multiple 4-point plays in this game. Goes 4 for 8 from downtown. Is not all that involved, and frankly had a game on defense tonight, but like had his moments too. And we just keep coming back to it every single night. There's opportunities for everybody to thrive and for everybody to star. Quentin Grimes just happens to be the guy at the end of these games who has been making really big shots.
Bree, you have the play now. This is at the end of regulation where Tyrese Maxey finds him over the top, and Quentin Grimes just jumps right into that one. And you see Joel Embiid's reaction right there, running under the stanchion and behind the stanchion.
Amazing.
In celebration. And that play occurred with 38.7 seconds left. He makes a 27-foot three-pointer to make it 26-26. Adem Bona blocks CJ McCollum's 3-foot driving layup that basically forces things to happen in overtime for them to allow them the ref had to review the call and go through the whole thing of what happens because Tyrese Maxey tried to tip it out. They reset the shot clock. So many things happen there. Chris Middleton misses a 15-foot pull-up jump shot, which they made all night, by the way, and he misses that one. So that is with Quentin Grimes, our temperature check. Make sure, once again, you visit acehardawarehomeservices.com to get your project started with Ace Hardware Home Services. Now, everybody's saying Adem Bona is the player of the game.
He was my game ball for me.
Number one,
I don't know what Devon decided over here.
He is the player of the game, Adem Bona. 5 blocks, 5 boards, 2 points. He fumbled 2 plays that we thought were easy buckets for him, but so what? Because he, in the end, Adem Bona with those 5 blocks and none more important than the ones that he had at the end of the game. And we're turning this stuff over pretty quickly here with these player of the games, the branded segments that we have here. So with Adem Bona getting that block, we got to go to the big deal presented by Cherry Hill once again and discussing what happened with Adem Bona here, because the big deal presented by Kia of Cherry Hill, I know people buy Kias, Kyle. I just don't know why.
Devon.
Absolutely not. I don't know why. So the big deal, Derek, Adem Bona. With his defense, Joel Embiid capped at 23-plus minutes, couldn't go anymore. Overtime happens, and Adem Bona is called upon to just go out there, finish the game off, don't commit any silly fouls, grab the rebounds, block the shots, so on and so forth. And the guy, all he does, man, is come in here and save the game for them. Number one, on the putback dunk, when Tyrese Maxey, after Kyle explained all of that with the outside shooting and no legs, Tyrese Maxey drives to the basket, gets the ball on the rim, and Adem Bona cleans it up and gets the dunk right there. His only 2 points of the night, none bigger than when that happened at that point of the game. But then he also has that block, and he has that block, everybody, that saves it. Tyrese Maxey makes it 134-131 to give the Sixers the lead. And Adem Bona blocks CJ McCollum with 11.9 seconds left on the clock. And it looked like it was going to be a clean layup for CJ to at least cut the lead to 1.
CJ
certainly did. Yes. And Adem Bona blocks the shot. Bree, let's run let's run this here with the Kia big deal with Adem Bona's block shot with the big deal presented by Cherry Hill Kia. And this block right here, Derek, look, again, he thought he had it. He thought he had it. And no, Adem Bona, the biggest play of the game tonight.
I mean, he had 3 of the biggest plays in the game. The follow-up, those 2
That was
blocks,
the biggest.
he legitimately put them ahead, and then he made 2 game-saving blocks to make sure that they stayed ahead. It really was. Kyle mentioned this when we were out in the other room watching the game. It's like everybody was dead tired. Like everybody was running on dead legs. And all of a sudden, he comes in here. What did Bona play? Like 17 minutes on the night, something like that. He comes in there, and he's just got a ball of energy, and he's giving you effort, and he makes 3 incredible effort plays. And he did do it. Look, we can sit here and nitpick Bona's hands, and certainly he had a couple of those plays there. every now and then his decision on timing to go for blocks, his fouling, his rebounding. I don't think he committed a single foul in 17 minutes. And he gave them the only real rim protection they had all night. Part of that was Joel Embiid seemed like at times he was saving himself on defense. We'll see whether or not whether or not that continues throughout the season. I do think Joel is moving relatively well on offense. Has not necessarily been able to apply that on the defensive end, and Drummond just didn't have it. Like Drummond was not protecting the rim at all. He was out of position. He was not elevating at all. He was not altering a shot. And then Bona came in. And he was a breath of fresh air. And I really want Adem to grab that spot and run with it, because he just brings an element to your defense that right now they're lacking in almost every regard. And they have to be one of the worst rim protection teams in the league right now, especially with the way, like I said, Joel is not himself yet. Drummond has not, he had a great game the other night, but outside of that has been pretty bad on defense and certainly at the rim. They need Adem to run with this. And this was if this ends up being a moment where he can look back on, get a little bit of confidence, get a little bit of swagger, and really give them that presence at the rim, that violence at the rim, they really need that element going forward.
No, I don't want to overstate it, but it could genuinely be a career turning point type of moment, right? You hear there are a lot of times when a young player who's fighting for opportunities is up and down and up and down and up and down, and they don't know if they're going to stick. And they need that one real confidence solidifying moment. Like everything comes together for, it could be 2 minutes of a game. It could be 10 minutes of a game where they look around and they say, I just changed that damn basketball game, right? Or whatever sport it might be. And I did that. I got us that win, right? They do not win that game without Adem Bona. And obviously it doesn't always go that way, right? There's a famous story when Furkan Korkmaz in Portland hits that game winner. They all take him out to party afterward, and he relays to his teammates, this is the best night of my life, right? And Furkan Korkmaz did not go from there and have like a stratospheric rise to the top of the NBA or anything. But Adem Bona, I said it to you guys as the game is wrapping up and we're watching him close out that game. Sometimes all you need to be in pro sports is really athletic and play very hard. And he is both of those things. So he's got a lot of things he's got to refine. He's got to get better at not fouling. He's got to work on his hands, his interior play, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the things that he has are things that you cannot teach. They're things that guys don't just pick up in the middle of their careers. You can't go to a trainer. You can't coach into Adem Bona what he does have. And so I think it's why coming into this year, despite the issues or the flaws that he might have, Nick Nurse said, I'm going with this guy first. I want to give him as much runway and as much opportunity as possible, because when they're in the gym with him, when we're not there, when it's behind the scenes, he works his butt off. He's playing for Turkey this summer. He got interviewed after the game and was like, look, that environment helped me. We talked about that, the Eurobasket, being over there, playing real international tough competition when a lot of guys are still working their way through the offseason. I hope this is a launching pad for Adem Bona to continue his growth and to continue growing into a role as part of this young core, because when he does put it all together, boy, is he fun to watch out there.
Adem Bona, the player of the game because of what he did in flipping the game at the end after taking over down the stretch. That's the big deal. Adem Bona, he is the big deal, presented by Cherry Hill Kia. I know people, I do know, Derek, that they do drive those, they get their Kias elsewhere. I just don't know why. Make sure that you drive home in your new Kia today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at Kia of Cherry Hill.com. All right, folks, let's take our first pause here because that's so much to get into. We got to talk about Tyrese Maxey, who had Adem Bona not save.
He increased his scoring average, and he was averaging 37 a game. How?
We have to talk about the NBA's leading scorer, who, as Kyle said, increased his scoring average after tonight's win over the Washington Wizards. We'll talk about Tyrese Maxey and so many more. Kelly Oubre, Trendon Watford's debut, Joel Embiid. The 76ers are 4-0. Heffa says 99-0 is happening. Doug Kretz says 99-0.
Eugene said it first.
Did
if
he?
They go 99-0. Eugene Ross. It was you. I always believed.
This team is nuts. What is happening with this group? We got to talk about it. All Derek can do is shake his head right now. We still have more show to get to. We'll do it all right here as we hang out with you on this Tuesday night. Sixers undefeated, 4-0, leading the Eastern Conference right now, undefeated with a 4-0 record. We're talking about it right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show presented by Bet365. And look, I got it again. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Whenever you're watching this basketball team, it is never ordinary. And at Bet365, if you tailed us during our pregame picks, I'm back on the right winning side of things, everybody. I hit on the game tonight with my 2 threes from Trey Johnson and my 5 rebounds from Kelly Oubre. I'm one of the 90 million users worldwide. If you tailed that, that means you are too. But if you're not, you got to go and sign up right now at Bet365. New customers can get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose, sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5, and you get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. You win either way. Bonus bets can be used on the spreads, total player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we got to get Adem Bona into Cherry Hill Kia because he is the player of the game and he had the biggest moment of the night. And with it, we got to tell you about Cherry Hill Kia. If you're looking for the dealerships with the most inventory and super low lease payments in the Philadelphia area, KiaofCherryHill.com is the place to go. Choose from over 450 new Kias, including Tellurides, Sportages, K5s, Carnival, Seltos, Souls, and more. I've got to tell you, Kia is the hottest automotive brand in the country, and that's for a reason. 7 of their models received 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice Awards. That's amazing considering there are more than 450 models tested, and only 20 models industry-wide receive this award. Stop in today, tell them PHLY sent you, and receive up to $3,000 over Kelly Blue Book trade-in values following a trade appraisal. I know people buy Kias elsewhere. Kyle, I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Kia today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at KiaofCherryHill.com. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers postgame show presented by Bet365, where Tyrese Maxey, as Kyle said, all he did was increase his scoring average at 37 coming into the night. And Derek, he finished with 39 points, 10 assists, which was a game high. He played 47 minutes and 26 seconds, dog tired, and shot 11 for 25 from the floor, 3 for 9 from the three-point line. But again, double digits at the free throw line, 14 for 16 on the night. Big layup attempt at the end to give Bona the opportunity to get that putback dunk. But Tyrese Maxey, once again, where it seemed like he was having a quieter off night for Tyrese Maxey this season, he still ends up with his average and 2 points over.
Yeah, and look, he came out on fire, making a lot of shots from the perimeter. Looked like he had, you were worried about the second night of a back-to-back, especially traveling on the road, how many minutes he played last night. Came out on fire and then really, really cooled off. And it looked like, all right, Tyrese is tired. And you're sitting there watching the game, you're going like, all right, look, I don't want to call it a schedule loss, but we all understand second half of back-to-backs travel. It's tough, especially when you're missing Paul George and Jared McCain and Joel Embiid's on a minute restrictions. You were coming up with the reasons why you could have, a feel-good loss. And then he goes nuts there in the fourth quarter. And it's not outside of, he made, I think, one pretty deep three with like a minute left in the fourth. Outside of that, everything else was going to the rim. And even Tyrese Maxey, when he doesn't have all of his legs, is still one of the fastest players on the court and in the league. And he just seemed like he completely changed his perspective. Everything was going downhill, putting pressure on the rim, opened up some offensive rebounding opportunities, opened up some kick-out opportunities, got his hands on some deflections, and he got out in transition. It was just a really gutty performance. And it's one thing when Tyrese has a heater like he had pretty much this entire season up to this point. He's talented enough to do that. But the gutty wins are almost more encouraging than anything, because that was a game where they looked like they were drawing dead for a good chunk of the second and third quarter. period, like I'm a freaking hockey fan.
Hey, listen,
I don't
Brett
even
Brown
watch
used
hockey.
to say period too. So it's
Second
fine.
and third quarters, they looked like they were drawing dead. They couldn't get 2 stops in a row all game. Really thought, all right, 3-1. Show a little life here in the fourth quarter. Come out of here feeling good. But thanks to Tyrese and a couple other people that we'll get to, Bona included, they pulled off one of the guttiest wins we've seen in quite a while.
I just have total admiration for how Tyrese Maxey has started this season, right? Like he has always been a no excuses type of guy, right? Last season, he didn't go crying to the media or anybody else about like, hey, all these guys are hurt. I don't know why you guys are pointing fingers at me or criticizing me for this. Most of his messaging was, I hate this. I hate losing. We're going to get this right. And then this whole offseason was spent on leading from the front, right? He's bringing in young guys to his workouts. He's traveling around different places so that they can be a part of his, build up to the season. He walks into scrimmages and pre-camp practices and whatnot on day one and says, I love this energy, but you guys got to understand it's not just today. It's not just in these scrimmages. It has to be every day. It's every practice. It's every shoot around. It's every quarter. It's every game. It's every week, month, etc. And he just does not stop, right? He was very clearly tired tonight, right?
Yes, yep.
And not a single rational person in the world could look at his minute count and his workload right now and blame him for being tired or blame him for not having the legs to make jump shots at the end of that game, right? That's a thing that happens. But one of the things I have loved, absolutely loved about this start, there was so much of the fan base last year that was convinced like Tyrese Maxey can't get calls, right? And I think he believed that at times too, right? Or there was a lot of moments where he would go last year to the refs, complain about a whistle he didn't get, and then the transition defense is poor, team scores, and it compounds the issues they're already having. He is putting himself on the line, right? Because he's taking the physicality, he's taking the contact to and at people. He is forcing the officials to make calls, right? And while he's also doing a better job of like exaggerating the contact a little bit, like swinging the arm up when he gets hit and making sure referees can see it, ultimately what you have to do as a guard is put the onus on the official. You're going to make a call one way or another. And if I initiate the contact, if I highlight that this guy is on me, I'm going to get that whistle. And I love that he didn't cop out to the, I don't get calls. I'm not that type of player. He is playing with a mentality and a style that is bringing him free throws, right? So then you add that on to everything else he can do. The step back threes, the side step threes, the catch and shoot stuff. He had the beautiful two-man game play with Joel Embiid tonight where they had a couple combination passes and then he hit a back cut and gets a dunk. That ATO toward the end of the game, right? Like we're seeing him involved off the ball, not just to set up his shot, but to take advantage of his speed downhill, to take advantage of his speed coming off of flare screens or coming off of pin downs, circling around on handoffs, whatever it might be. You are seeing the complete package of Tyrese Maxey's offensive skills. And I just absolutely love that this has been a no excuses. I am taking it to people start of the season. And I hope this continues all year. Right now, he is in, forget about All-Star. He is in All-NBA, MVP, best people playing in the league right now conversations. It is a material leap from his past seasons. He's been unbelievable.
It's crazy you say that too, because you get the player of the week stuff, the awards, and there's been so many great individual performances throughout the NBA.
Yeah.
But he is one of them. Well,
absolutely.
Especially in the Eastern Conference when we talk about the East and what he has done. We did the pregame show, Derek, and we talked about the identity shift of this basketball team because of the in and out nature that we know that is going to be with Embiid and George in and out of the lineup. Tyrese Maxey is going to be the one constant of those three All-Stars that we expect to be in the lineup. But again, as Kyle pointed out, I brought it up on Anthony's show this morning when we were at the Shane Battier, Daryl Morey ping pong tournament, and Daryl Morey was talking about Maxey and the open runs and all, and we asked him about, hey, well, who is the one that has had that bigger voice that has been really driving all of this? And he said, well, everybody's had it, but it's really been Tyrese Maxey. And then we sit down with Nick Nurse on Media Day. Tyrese talks about his leadership as well. And even speaking with Drummond and Oubre since the season has got underway and we've been allowed to be around those guys, they just continue to talk about his leadership and what he provides for this basketball team and how they're basically taken off of who he is, his personality, and the identity has started to shift. It's a personality shift as well with this basketball team driven by him.
Yeah. No, and he is a great leader, especially like when you have players like VJ and young players like VJ and Jared McCain who are similar in personality and dedication and work ethic and attention to detail, but they need that guy who's been there, who's done it, who's been an all-star, who's been an all-NBA player, who's played in the playoffs to look up to and to lead them. It is the right mixture of, like, Tyrese is a great bridge in that he's talented enough to play with Embiid and Paul George and obviously get their respect, but also help drive winning alongside them, especially if they're able to get back to where they once were, and also be that bridge where he can showcase to the young kids that you have so much invested to, this is how you do it. This is how you play. This is how you prepare. This is how you game plan, and this is how you just stay focused throughout the course of NBA season. He is the perfect player to be both a high-end player, and Kyle's right, like he would be in the MVP ladder if the season ended today. Of course it doesn't, but he's playing that great of basketball, but also be a tone setter and a real mentor for the young kids. He has been perfect this season.
He has been fantastic. And we talked a lot about one of the things that we discussed in our prediction show was, can he get back to all-star form?
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys just pointed out.
Has he.
Yeah, has he gotten back to all-star form? He's in MVP conversations, all NBA conversations again. But, and look, we're far, far away from a contending team for a championship. Right now, they're at the top of the Eastern Conference. They're doing what they're supposed to do and win these games. Elaine Bruno is right. They can't keep putting themselves in this situation.
You can't come back every single game.
You cannot.
Like this, man.
You cannot
or
do
can
that.
They?
Yeah, well, maybe they can, and maybe they're the first team to do
No,
so.
if my heart's going to take a whole season of that.
And Elaine says we can't be in a dogfight every game. You're absolutely right. You cannot. But through these so far, what they're showing is the character that they're building in these games. And when Tyrese Maxey, all through the broadcast, they kept playing his media day conversation where he kept saying over and over again, when we step out on the floor, you're going to know when it's a Philadelphia 76ers team out there. And so far, yes, they have bad third quarters, and they're terrible in the third quarter. They have to be the worst in the league in the third quarter with how they go about their business. But they also might be the best in the league in the fourth quarter now because they put themselves in that hole in the third to have to dig out in the fourth where they have come back and done this. But again, he pointed out how now you're going to know who we are every time we step on the floor. And what you're going to get now, it may be a dogfight, Elaine, to your point, and it has been so far, but you're also going to get a team that, at least for right now, it doesn't seem like they're going to quit. They have a lot of fight in them, and it really starts with him and how he has set the tone with this basketball team. And for him to be where he is right now, all NBA conversation, MVP talk that Kyle is saying for the latter, that's absolutely right. And I'd be stunned based on the Eastern Conference. I don't know who's been better than him in the East. I know Giannis has been pretty darn good, and you've had Jalen Brunson with some big numbers, but his team is undefeated, and he's leading the league in scoring. I'd imagine he gets that early nod right now. What are the numbers that you have right there that you're looking at?
So this doesn't include today's game.
Sure.
They are the worst third quarter team in the league. Take a guess at their
margin?
net rating.
Minus 15 points.
Negative 52.6.
It's been that bad. It's been that bad. They're awful in the third quarter, which is why they have to continue to dig out of these holes that they put themselves in. But they're winning these games.
They're 4-0, and they're getting outscored by 52.6 points per 100 possessions in the third quarter.
Oh, man. And they just hung it. You said they were first in what offensive rating before we?
Heading into the game, yeah.
Heading into the game.
Yeah.
And tonight they put up another 139 in this game that they needed overtime to hit that number. All right, folks, we got to take another pause. Tyrese Maxey has been fantastic. All of you are fantastic. And we have to continue to talk with you, read your super chats, get the Diehard voicemail call-in video from, who is it today, Bree? You said it was Jay again. Jay got the honor again, Jay of the Jungle. We'll get Jay in there.
I wonder what point of the game he got his in during.
Oh, man. I can't wait to find out.
Much different.
I cannot wait to find out. We get to it all when we get back. It's the PHLY Sixers post-game show On the way to the break, somebody said I keep putting the finger on the wrong one because of the pointer finger on this one. So, all right, I'll do it on this side. Hit the like button, everybody. A ton of you are in there, and a majority of you who have already hit the like button are saying there are close to 900 people in there, and we don't have close to 900 likes. It's really simple.
Get on it.
Just hit the button.
Do your damn job, and we'll do ours.
And continue to watch the show. We'll be back right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. I don't know how you celebrate, but have you ever seen those videos where you see people celebrating, like the one famous one of the guy after, I think it was the NFC Championship game for the Birds? He's in the subway, and he runs into the stanchion right there, and it's that famous one. My man, I know he had to go to Rothman Orthopedics after that one. If it's something as simple as that for a bruised forehead or whatever, your shoulder pops out because you run into a subway stanchion, or playing basketball, pickup ball, whatever it is, or a nagging pain that just won't go away, it's disrupting your routine, you got to get the right care, and it shouldn't be a hassle. Rothman Orthopedics makes it easy with convenient office locations throughout the region, plus walk-in and urgent care centers when you need help and you need it fast. Whether it's a new injury or something that's been bothering you for a while, expert orthopedic care is just around the corner. My ACL and my Achilles done at Rothman Orthopedics, and I wouldn't go any other place at all because of how good Rothman Orthopedics is. Schedule your appointment today at rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility, our mission.
And guys, when the weather turns chilly, which it really has, like you wake up in the morning and it is cold.
It's cold.
The last thing you need to do is a home project piling up. Ace Hardware Home Services brings trusted local pros right to your door to help you get your home ready for the colder months. From heating tune-ups and plumbing fixes to generators and emergency repairs, our experts handle it all. No guesswork, no stress. Just a local pro to get the job done right. Satisfaction guaranteed. Find the help you need for your next home project at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers postgame show. Sixers win 139-134 in comeback fashion for the fourth consecutive game. They cannot make it easy on us, Kyle. They cannot make it easy.
Hey, if they win, it doesn't need to be easy, I suppose.
But they're winning.
I wouldn't mind one or two easy ones,
Yeah.
though.
Let's see how it goes on Friday when the NBA Cup play gets started at the arena when the Boston Celtics are in town. Tyrese Maxey, fantastic. Also got to talk about Joel Embiid. The 23 minutes and 2 seconds, Kyle. 23 minutes and 2 seconds. And it was really important, too, because
he's ramping up.
through 3 quarters, he played, let me make sure I have it correctly, 18 minutes and 20 seconds. So collectively, among the 4 of us, we were like, is he going to come back? This game at that point was 110-94 in favor of Washington. So we were like, is he going to come back?
What are you doing?
Game?
Come on, Nick.
Yeah. Joel Embiid comes back in the 4th quarter, and he plays 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Doesn't score a point. He's 0 for 2 from the floor. 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, but 3 boards, 2 assists. And the 2 assists were important. One of them to Tyrese Maxey, as you talked about, with some great 2-man game action that they had going on. But what do you make of his performance tonight, Derek? He defensively, again, not great. Alex Sarr had it really going on. It looked like a couple of possessions, Joel was up for the task and the challenge there with Sarr. But offensively, 25, 9 for 17, 3 for 6 from beyond the three-point line in that 23 minutes that he played.
Yeah, I think offensively he was really good, like really good. I thought his shot selection was good. I thought he at times was showing some of that power game that he was not playing with earlier in the season, especially in the opener against Celtics. Now he had a huge advantage in this one physically, but he was at least, pressing that advantage in ways that he wasn't earlier in the season. Sure. I thought his passing was on point. Like I thought he made some really good passes. That 2-man game with Tyrese especially stood out. Defensively,
5 assists tonight.
Yeah, 5 assists. Had a couple turnovers, but I think for the most part the passing was there. The defense is going to be a concern, and I'm trying to get a real gauge on like what's going on there because every now and then we'll see him move with fluidity and a little bit of explosiveness on offense. I don't know if it's just that on offense you're the one dictating the move, so you kind of get to pick your spots a little more, and defense you just have to react. I don't know if he's just not fully confident in the knee. I don't know if he's just picking his spots because he is trying to conserve energy and get himself back into playing shape, but he's just not contesting shots at the way that we are used to, or at least were used to before the Kuminga injury. And like I said, I don't know if that's a capability thing or a mindset thing or just getting back into shape thing or what's going on, but he's not having anywhere near the impact that he previously did. And, hopefully with time, he will get a little more explosive, a little more trusting of the knee, a little more confident in the moves he can make and the position he can do to impact the game, even if he doesn't have his previous burst. The Sixers defense right now is pretty much a catastrophe, which is why Bona was such a breath of fresh air at the end. Joel is the one person who can really fit. Like, Paul George coming back will help. And when Paul George comes back, he's almost needed more as a defender and a versatile forward defender now than an offensive player. But Joel is the one person who can really fix it. And I think over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be spending a lot of time evaluating and talking about what's he capable of, what's he holding back, and how much higher can he go.
Yeah, I think the sequence for me that summed up his night was on one end of the floor, he sealed Marvin Bagley or got Marvin Bagley pretty deep on the block. And it was like 2 or 3 power dribbles and a quick little hook shot. Marvin Bagley has absolutely no chance. On the other end of the floor, Marvin Bagley comes rolling right down the lane, and Joel stands there flat-footed, watches him as he throws down a ridiculous dunk, and nobody comes even close to defending the dunk, right? Obviously, Joel's not the only one involved in the play, but he's the guy that he jumped with everybody, right? That was his thing coming into the league. It was his thing for probably at least the first 5 years of his career. But I can remember, like, against Memphis, right? They had that really crazy game at home against the Grizzlies, and he went up and swatted Ja Morant, right? Like, meets Ja Morant at the Summit. That's a guy who can jump, or at least could jump with just about anybody. And that used to be common for him, right? That used to be, it's not even a second thought. If Joel gets dunked on, Joel gets dunked on. He never treated it like that.
That's what shot blockers do. They get
but
dunked on.
it's not just dunks, right? It's layups, it's dunks, it's shots around the rim. There's just not a lot of effort or energy being expended. And the tough time I'm having with it is I can understand if this is you're trying to learn how to pace yourself a little bit rather than Joel is normally just 100 miles an hour or 0 miles an hour. If you're trying to find a way to get yourself to April, May, and June, how do you do that? What does that look like? He watched as, I know people look back at Jimmy Butler with rose-colored glasses because of the playoff stuff. If you were to actually go back and watch a lot of those games, the Jimmy Butler year, Jimmy coasted through good portions of that season, right? And that's why there was a little bit of trepidation, like, oh, is this guy, as good as they need him to be? It's part of why they make the Tobias Harris trade. Then the playoffs start, and it's like, oh my God, this guy is like one of the best players in the league. And Joel's trying to find his older version of that, right? Where he can still be an impact player. He can still score the 25 points in 23 minutes. He can be a playmaking hub, right? Like, made some great passes tonight to free guys up. The big problem is this team needs him more on defense by like 100 yards than offense, right? They have scoring. They have Maxey. They have Grimes. VJ has been better in that department than they expected. Jared McCain is coming. Paul George is coming. There is nobody coming to save the defense. Save for making a trade, this defense will be probably as good as 30 to 35 minute a game Joel Embiid can make it. And right now, we are just not seeing enough from him. Whether that's a temporary thing or a long-term permanent thing, none of us can sit here and say that, but I would definitely say I'm concerned as of right now.
After seeing him for 3 games and seeing these types of possessions that you're talking about, they're 2 different players on 2 different ends of the floor. We've never talked about him that way. He's always been a two-way player that has really impacted the basketball games, had his fingerprints all over it. And that end of the floor he hit is just not the same at all. And even on the offensive end, to be perfectly honest with you, while he's had his moments, 23 tonight, 20 in the game against the Charlotte Hornets on Saturday. The problem that you can also see is when he does seal a guy and get a really good opportunity, he had a bucket on one end, and then you saw him gingerly, I did at least, grimace a little bit and gingerly run up the floor because something tweaked in that knee after he made the shot. It didn't prevent him from being in the game going forward, but there are going to be those moments too where you just have one of those, you think you're going to do a instinctual thing, and boom, it kind of drops you for a second, and you have to gather yourself and mentally get yourself back into it and kind of flex that knee and just try to get back into the play.
Now, all of this being said about the defense, they won his minutes
Yeah.
and they won them
Handily,
pretty easily,
yes.
right? Because again, on the other end of the floor, Joel Embiid remains, as we talked about on pregame, one of the most skilled and most intelligent offensive players that there is. I honestly think if we're talking about explosiveness and conditioning and whatnot, one of the big encouraging signs for me was, I know he picked up an offensive foul on one of them, but he ran the floor in transition. And we've seen him run the floor in transition, including on one where VJ dropped one off for him in, I believe it was the Saturday game against Charlotte, right? Where you say, big guy's running the floor, you got to reward him.
Yes, sir.
And so when you see him doing that stuff, it's like, okay, the conditioning base for the minutes he's playing is good, right? This is not a situation where he's scoring 20 points in the first quarter and then the rest of the game is just like sucking wind and like, oh my God, I can't move. So it does lead you to believe that at least part of this is a choice. It is an active decision. Like, I'm not going to jump a lot. This is going to be mostly positioning and guiding guys to spots and maybe try to focus on rebounding a little bit more and then make all your money on the offensive end. If that's the calculus, we'll see how it pays off. 4-0 is 4-0, right? So clearly what they're doing as a team and with him is working for now. I'm just not sure it'll work once they start playing, you know, the real heavy hitters of both conferences.
Yeah. No, and look, part of my concern is, and look, I just want to reiterate, I thought he was really good on offense.
He was.
He was a really
Very,
good
very
Joel
good.
He
game.
was.
And I think he was a huge net positive. My concern, it's almost unfair, but like Kyle said, he is the one person that can fix the defense, and defense has been atrocious pretty much every game that they've played. So it is like, it's not even a complaint or criticism. I'm just trying to do the internal math in my head to figure out like, okay, how much higher of a gear do I think he has in him so I know how to react to how bad this defense is. Because if I believe that he is just picking his spots, then I think they can be and you get to the playoffs and all of a sudden Joel's just playing a different version of basketball than he's currently playing. He can fix a lot of those problems. I'm just trying to figure that out on the fly, and I don't really know what's going on yet.
When you're going to need them the most, if they can continue to get these wins, is certainly in the playoffs. Can he get through the rounds like that?
Well,
we're talking about.
I think if they go 82-0, they make the playoffs, right?
Okay. Probably get the
Usually,
Shout out
but
Eugene.
you know, the Eastern Conference might be tough this
Yeah.
year. I don't know.
Chicago's undefeated, man. So, you know, that might be a problem. Final break for us, everybody. Final pause on the way out. Got the right finger. Yes. You know, Bo Wolf in there in the chat, everybody. Also from the PHLY Eagles podcast. Give him the finger, everybody. Hit that like button as we go to break. Final break for us. We got to talk about the others, Super Chats, and the Diehard voicemail call-in from Jay. Wrapping up the show as well with the roll call right here as the Sixers remain undefeated. Who are these guys? We have no idea. Well, what we do know is they're the top in the Eastern Conference. We'll be back right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show.
And guys, we all want to make our money go farther. And a great way to do that is to have a clear visual of what you're actually spending your money on. And so many times I'll sit there, oh, I forgot I signed up for this service, or I didn't realize I was spending so much money at Wawa. Like, it happens to me all the time.
We've all done
An
it.
app that not only goes through all of your statements, but presents it to you in a way that's easily digestible is worth its weight in gold. Feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch Money, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting, linking all of your accounts in minutes, and you get clear data visuals, smart categorization of your spending, and real control over your money. If you're not on top of your money, you could be missing chances to save more, invest smarter, or hit your financial goals faster. Monarch helps you stay informed so nothing slips through the cracks. Monarch isn't just another finance app. It's a tool that real professionals and experts actually love. It was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code PHLY at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code PHLY.
Guys, I can't speak for all of you, but in the fall, as you can see, it gets busy for us. It gets busy for me. One of the things that goes very quickly is your diet. You're not eating right because you're on the move. You're just pulled in 3 different directions at all times. That's why I love Factor meals. They have chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals that make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something that is both comforting, delicious, and healthy for you, no matter how hectic the season gets. There's tons of variety. They have more variety and more meals now. You can choose from, chicken, steak, the basic kind of stuff, or their premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp, and they come at no extra cost. You can support your wellness goals. They have some new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good for you fats. Global flavors as well, right? Nobody wants to eat the same thing all the time, the same types of cuisines. Get Asian-inspired meals, Italian, Mexican, all sorts of stuff all around the globe coming to you from Factor Meals. So eat smart at factormeals.com/PHLY50 off and use the code PHLY50 off to get 50% off of your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year.
What?
That's insane. That's code PHLY50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a whole year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
I'm starving.
I'm hungry right now, I'll tell you that.
Factor.
I know Devon's a late-night eater.
Yeah,
so.
man. Factor waiting once we get out here and get home. All right, welcome back to the PHLY Sixers post-game show presented by Bet365. Let's get to the number one. We got to tell you about the Diehard opportunity for you right now. 55% off. Our teammate, an actual professional teammate too, of the Philadelphia Eagles, Brandon Graham.
BG, baby.
BG is back. 55% off PHLY Diehard memberships. You get into the Discord, merchandise. You get access to all of that. The Supporters Club, so many things. Make sure you sign up at allphly.com. Get the merch. Get involved in the Discord like I am. And everybody, enjoy yourself while you're in there. And you also get an opportunity during our show to get a message from Bree and say, hey, you want to send in a voicemail message here for the post-game show? Well, Jay has done so, and Bree has Jay's message to us. And who leaves voicemails anymore? Well, our diehards do. What does Jay have for us tonight?
Waiting for the result of the challenge. Crazy game, crazy comeback. One thing I got to say, can we stop calling games over in the third quarter? I expect that from
He's speaking to me.
the jabronis that we have in the chat, right? But Derek, Kyle, come on, bro. Come on. Love you guys, though.
Thank you, Jay.
So
It's a deserved call out because I thought that game, when they went down 19, I thought it was over.
So did I.
I'll put my hand up and say I didn't think they were coming back.
Jay.
Devon and I said the exact same thing. It's just we were smart enough to do it in private, not in the Discord channel, which of course now I'm outing us, which is maybe not a smart thing to do, but what are you going to do? Look, they didn't string two stops together the entire third quarter. Who would believe they were coming back from this one? Nobody.
And they were on the second night of a back-to-back. They were down 110. What was 110?
We just
94?
got old takes exposed on our own show.
By people who pay to read
By
us.
someone who subscribes to all of our platforms.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Jay.
Appreciate it,
the
Jay.
call in.
All right, we got to run through a lot of super chats. We have to talk about Trendon Watford.
Real quick, I just sent Bree a tweet from one Quentin Grimes that was sent about a half hour ago after the game ended. Quentin Grimes.
New contract?
Had something to say.
New contract. You got an extension, Derek. You didn't tell us.
I don't think that's happening.
Not legal, sadly.
I was going to say, Derek's the CBA guy, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
All right, well, let's just at least say this. James Nectar says, how about them apples there after
Adem apples.
Adem apples as the Philadelphia 76ers come back, and Adem Bona is a big part of that. What does Quentin Grimes have to say?
He says, vibes are immaculate. That's what Quentin Grimes has to say.
Listen, man, you hit two game-deciding plays. You hit two shots there like that. I understand, man.
Daryl Morey looked at him and said, $50K for each of those, buddy. Best I can do. I will say, at a certain point, we are going to look at this and be like, did they botch this? Because
Not 30, not
I'm
25.
not trying to. I'm turning the key in Derek's back right now. Trying
Well,
to
I
make
think
him
there's a super
clap the
chat
cymbals
related to
on the
this, so I'm
show.
gonna wait for my luxury tax for the super chat.
All right, at least let's start with Yams and play the song. Yams says, Embiid's, because we talked about this, Embiid's defense needs to be discussed. It's untenable. We talked about
We
it.
did get into that.
Jada Jungle says, like and subscribe for Derek, Kyle, and Devon and Bree putting
Even
in
though
the
he
work.
calls us out for being frauds in his.
That's all right. He's part of this.
He's part of the family.
Exactly. So Jada Jungle, we appreciate it. Mark Jackson says, Maxey first team All NBA. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
If he averages these numbers, he's first team all century.
Exactly.
First team all ever in basketball.
I think I saw, and I didn't have a chance to go out and confirm this, and I forget who said it, so I apologize for A, I might be making this up, and B, I'm not giving anyone credit. But I think it was the most points scored over the first 4 games of the season since like the ABA merger.
Is that right?
I
Wild.
mean, I believe
Wild.
it. It's damn near impossible to score this many points.
He's
a game.
averaging like
it's just-
38 a game now.
I understand there have been a lot of big games, but he's had 3 out of 4 have been absolute howitzers.
Yeah.
Like these are crazy performances.
Yeah, outstanding, man. EJ Barrett says here there were a couple of really good cross corner passes from Maxey.
Yeah.
And he
Yes, absolutely.
exactly. He is seeing the floor really well.
His passing is looking like January Tyrese Maxey. Remember when he looked like he really made a step in January, and then he got hurt and the team fell apart and imploded and whatever. He's looking like that was that was a leap that he's continuing. Yeah.
Yeah, really good floor vision from Tyrese Maxey. And they're also knocking down those shots, too, when they're finding him. One I remember specifically where it was in the first half, and he found somebody cross court in that corner. I think it was Trendon Watford. I don't think Watford took the shot, but it was a wide open opportunity. It was a really good pass right there. Good observation by you there on that one. We mentioned Mark and Jay there. Marcus Blackstock says, please hide all the bicycles in the city. This is the best Kelly Oubre has looked in the 76ers uniform. Marcus, yes, indeed. Get him the car service because he needs to be out there on the floor.
The car service didn't work out all that great last year either.
It did not. It did not.
No comment.
Just get him an Uber everywhere he's going. He needs an Uber.
We build him a bunk bed inside the Xfinity Mobile Arena. How about that?
We dedicated a point of the pregame. While it wasn't part of the rundown, we had to talk about him because he's been that good. And it continued tonight where he was
3 of 5 from 3, I believe.
10 rebounds to lead the team in rebounds tonight.
Actually, 11 by games.
11?
He got credited with an extra one.
11 rebounds, 17 points, 5 for 13 from the floor. But he got to the free throw line as well. Mm-hmm. He had 3 offensive rebounds once again. Kelly Oubre has just been phenomenal for this basketball team. So when you talk about vibes being immaculate, Quentin Grimes is a free agent. Kelly Oubre on a starting team playing like this, a free agent, yeah, the vibes are immaculate. Keep it up, though, guys. Keep it up, and that's a good problem to have at the end of the season if you make a deep playoff run and you see where things go from there. EJ Barrett with another super chat there at the top, Bree. Let me get the negative out the way. Drum can get 50 boards a game, and I don't think he should play a minute again anyway. Bohemian Maxey is goated 95 more games. Let's go LFG from EJ.
The road to the NBA Cup starts Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We are locked in on that ridiculous blue court they'll be playing on.
Yeah, Rich and I and Bree will be here on Friday. Pregame at, I think it's 6:30. I'll double check that before we get out of here for the pregame.
Is that a Peacock game too?
Derek and Kyle will be, it's either Peacock or it's Prime. 6:30 pregame right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. Holy Cannoli is in the chat, super chat. Why didn't they lock up Grimes when they had the chance this summer, Derek? That's the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
Derek, I'll give you the floor.
Well, so we have no idea whether or not Grimes and his camp would have accepted a reasonable offer. Reasonable, let's say, in the 13 to 17 per range. We in part don't know because it doesn't seem like Sixers ever offered him a real contract because they want to be able to deduct the tax if they need to at the trade deadline.
I will say, when I saw
You don't have to.
When I saw AJ Green get 40 plus million over 4 years, I was like, oh yeah, I think Quentin Grimes' stance was a little bit validated already.
Everyone knew Quentin Grimes would never take $9 million per year on a 4-year deal. Daryl knew it. Everyone knows it. It wasn't a serious offer because they don't want to pay the tax.
Yep.
Or at least they want to be able to duck the tax if they need to. Better way to phrase it.
EJ Barrett, one more time. Thank you for all the contribution tonight, EJ Barrett, in the super chat. Liked Watford running the pick and roll, Kyle. Once he got settled, after that first turnover, you could tell he hadn't played basketball
on the
in a while.
first possession.
And it was real lazy, too. Led to a breakout dunk for Cam Whitmore. But after that, he settled in pretty well. After that, on the offensive end, you saw the back down for his only 2 points over Trey Johnson. Took advantage of that. Got a foul called on Trey Johnson for another play just like that, trying to back him down. And then the pick and roll stuff, the pick and pop with Joel Embiid at the top of the key where he knocked down that 3. What did you make of his minutes tonight? 18-plus minutes.
Well, look, I think the thing I wanted to see was how do they use this guy? There's very little mystery to how they want to use this guy. They put the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
It was not like, hey, Trendon, go stand in the dunker. Hey, Trendon, go space the floor. It was a heck of a lot of, Trendon, you're going to run the offense. You're going to run pick and pops with Joel. We saw him, and I really like that they did this, although I don't want lots of Watford post-ups. You get Trey Johnson on you, you are much bigger than that guy. Go down on the block and, credit to, was it Edgecombe that threw it to him? Gave him the ball there.
Great recognition by
Credit to him for, we didn't even talk about VJ tonight, which is insane given, how he has started the year. But yeah, look, were there some issues? Of course. It's his first real game of basketball in quite a while. But I think all things considered, looked pretty good. Looks like he'll have a real role. And that'll allow, we talk about Maxey off the ball and getting these guys, taking advantage of Jared McCain when he comes back, Paul George as a off-ball weapon. To do that, you need more guys who can handle the ball. And Watford looks like a fairly safe pair of hands in that respect.
Yeah. No, he looked like a guy who, outside of that first play, looks like someone you can trust their decision-making and has more creativity than a lot of people on his roster. And I think it was it the assist to Walker? It looked like a real nice bounce pass inside.
Yeah.
He's just got a level of creativity that you trust. And we'll see whether or not he can become a viable floor spacer. We'll see how his defense holds up over time, what kind of versatility he has in that regard. But one of our big questions coming in was like, all right, yeah, you handled the ball on some pretty bad teams. Can you do that on a team with real aspirations and real talent around you? And so far, they certainly believe that he can for limited minutes. And I think he acquitted himself pretty well.
Yep, absolutely. Scott Sotan says, Derek, let's get overhyped. With George and McCain still coming back, who would you target for that 15th spot using maybe one of those exceptions? 15th spot.
They're not rostering 15 people because it makes it tougher to duck the tax.
That's twice.
Neither one of us are allowed to answer. That was just for Derek.
That was just for Derek. I'm not going there. Plus, you got the high
I would take
up here.
KJ Martin on this team right now. You could really use some defense. Now, is he still out there?
He's still
unsigned.
Yeah.
I'd take him in a second.
Yeah, he's still out there.
They're not using the 15th roster spot.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Haiku time.
I'd use the 15th roster spot, assuming Dominic Barlow continues to play well. I'd just give him a standard deal, I think.
That's fair.
But to Derek's point, it ain't happening.
Before we get to this Skunk Riley haiku time here portion of the show.
And a little VJ talk. We probably should talk a little bit about VJ's game.
Absolutely. Yeah. We got to let everybody know that we are now heading into overtime, everybody. We'll see you. We're off on Wednesday. We will see you on Thursday at 3 p.m., our only 3 p.m. show of the week. We'll see you at 3 o'clock right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. Pre-game at 6:30 on Friday, start of the NBA Cup play as the Sixers host the Boston Celtics for the second time in 2 weeks. All right, let's get to it.
Skunk Riley, the PHLY haiku master, says, I love this team. This haiku is titled, I think he meant to say youthful renewal, and it says yathful renewal. So here we go. Sunrise in their veins. Laughter sprints through open fields. Time can't catch their breath. Thank you, Skunk, for that invigorating haiku.
Man, they were tired.
And then a second haiku, not a second haiku, a second super chat from Skunk Riley who says, I have to believe Nurse loves coaching a team with lots of young, fast players and Embiid as a side piece. How does he solve for this bad defense? One, I definitely agree with Nurse has got to be thrilled to just have a team that, one, is more in his image, but 2, just as people that are upright, available, and want to play hard, right? Because those things were all problems for the Sixers last year. In terms of the defense, we brought up the Joel component. I think all of us agree on that front. PG is going to chip away at that problem. I think Barlow helps chip away at that problem just because he's a good rebounder, right? Part of defense is ending the possession. And so you end the possessions, you're going to be a better defensive team. He also has shown pretty good, I won't say very good, but pretty good switchability between like 3, 4, 5, mostly the 4, but a little bit in either direction. And so if he can do that and rebound and hold up next to another big, that'll solve a lot of it. But ultimately, I think what we're seeing is they're just going to have to score a lot. That's the bet you made by going all in on these guards in this way. And I think they can score even more, which is a crazy thought, but they're getting 2 high-level offensive players back pretty soon. That's going to make this offense cook even more.
Yeah, and look, if you score, they're not able to get out in transition, helps your defense. So get buckets. How you fix the defense. No, I mean, it's a legitimate concern. It absolutely is.
Before we talk about VJ and then the roll call, can you just speak to what you've seen from, especially you guys being in the building for the games at home, what you've seen so far from Nick Nurse since his name was brought up and how good of a job he has done?
Oh, yeah. Look, like, I think number one, this is just the fact that they're playing as hard as they are, the fact that they're responding when they're up against the wall. That's a culture thing, right? And the players own a lot of that because they came in ready to work, ready to compete, and push one another during this offseason before they got in the gym with Nurse. But I think his choice and his vision to say, we want everyone to feel involved on offense, right? It doesn't mean that everyone's going to score. It's going to be everyone scores 10, 10, 15, 15, 12, 12. Like, it's not going to be like that. There are guys who are alpha dogs on this team, but more guys are involved with the offense. More guys are being given chances, right? There's opportunities for players of different roles and types to touch the ball and be involved in a position. I mean, look, Trendon Watford coming back and immediately being given the ball to run the offense is a great example of that. It wasn't telling him to go stand in the corner. It's, you're an important part of this team. We believed in you enough to bring you in here. We're throwing you right in the mix and saying, Trendon Watford, go use the ball and try to succeed, right? So I think that certainly helps. I think the fact that he's just been toying with all different lineup combinations is a credit to him. It's a thing we didn't see a whole lot of last year. It felt like they stuck to mostly the same things. And he has made a lot of timely decisions that are important, right? When they went to Drummond in that Charlotte game, that was hey, we got to figure out something here. Drummond swung that entire game. Trusting Bona late in this one when Drummond was not playing well and Joel's at his minutes limit. I get it. But Bona hadn't really played all that well up to that point. And he still said, look, I'm rolling with this guy. I'm going to allow him to do this.
Yep.
Use him more of the 3-guard lineups. And all those guys being able to eat during those minutes and throughout the game, I think he's done a very good job with what he's been handed so far. The hope will be they'll be even better, and he'll get even better as they get more guys back.
What do you think, Nurse?
They started 2-12 last year, and they're 4-0. That's my thoughts on this game. I can't believe. No, I think he's done well. I think the offense has been more creative. I think he's pushing the right buttons to get guys to respond. To Kyle's point, I think his gut on who to go to down the stretch has been on point, even when the decisions aren't always cut and dry and obvious. I think he has done a really good job so far. And look, a lot of it comes down to the players executing, the players making shots. But I do think what has been in his control, especially compared, look, and joke about the start last year, and obviously they had a lot of injury luck or bad luck and circumstances, and there's a lot that goes into that. I didn't think he was prepared to start last year. That's a complete 180 this year. Yeah. You got to give him credit for that.
All right. Let's get to the VJ Edgecombe portion of the show. This is the first one where he looked like a rookie, second night of a back-to-back, fatigued, and he had a couple of big shots at the end of the first half where we thought maybe this would get him going. And he did end up with 14 points, but Kyle, he looked like a rookie on the second night after playing big minutes the night before in a comeback win over the Orlando Magic. And tonight, when they needed it again, took a couple of bad shots late in the fourth in the overtime session where we were like, this is not the time for that one. You can clearly see he was a little fatigued. It happens, and we know it happens. Yeah. He has been off to a fantastic start to his NBA career. What did you see from him in his performance tonight?
Well, I killed Joel for his defense. I know that VJ is moving a lot better than Joel is. I thought VJ was pretty poor on defense tonight. I thought in transition, there were a couple notable instances where I think the whole team's been bad there, but he's the guy with the relentless motor and athleticism, all that, where he just didn't get back quickly enough, and his guy makes a three or gets he's streaking down the floor for a layup or a dunk. But didn't like that. Washington's not huge, but they have a lot of guys who are like big 2-guard or 3 type sized. And he ended up in a lot of positions tonight where he was grabbing guys off the ball or he's trying to wall guys off on drives, and he's having to get a little too physical and handsy. And so I think he ended up with 5 fouls in that game. So that was a problem. They scored through him on a couple of those. That was all bad. Offensively, I think I honestly have a lot more praise for him than you'd expect for a 4 for 12 game, because all those misses were inside the arc, right? He didn't make anything inside the arc. Most of his shots were threes, which I love that he took 8 threes. I love even more that he made 4 of them, and 2 of those were 4-point plays. And I think this line could have looked better if guys had made shots. I think early in the game, he had no points for the entire first half until the final minute, I think.
Yeah.
2 assists, but he was making some great reads out of pick and rolls or sucking the defense in on drives and getting guys clean looks. Like, I think one of the assists he got early was he had a passing window to Joel Embiid on a pick and pop. He still hesitated, waited, made, I think, 1 or 2 more dribbles, got further down, closer to the basket, drew the second defender where it was close to a hard double, and Joel got a practice shot from the top of the key. And that's the type of patience and poise that I think Nick Nurse has talked about a lot. So I saw a lot of offensive stuff that I liked. The fact that we're talking about a 4 for 8 VJ Edgecombe shooting game from 3 in his 4th game, and that the catch and shoot stuff looks as good as it mostly did in that game is incredible to me. I was not expecting this to be a good shooting start or a good shooting year for VJ. I love that Nick played him through all of that late in the game. If they had lost that game, then maybe there was some second guessing, like, oh, why are you playing the tired rook 40 minutes when he doesn't really have it? But that's a good learning experience for him. This is his first back-to-back. It's the first time he's ever played 3 games in 4 nights at this level of competition. It's a good learning experience for him.
It's the kind of game where I think if you had told us before the season started, 14 points, what was it, like 6 rebounds, 4 assists, whatever it was, pretty good passing, made 4 threes, contributing to win, you'd go like, that's a good VJ Edgecombe game. For a guy playing his 4th NBA game, that's a real good VJ Edgecombe game. You would have been excited about that. You would have been excited that he's taking more threes, excited about the role that he's showing more as a ball handler and a creator, showing that he has role player skills and room to grow. It's just we got spoiled by a couple of 25 and 30-point outings where it's like, well, we want that every night now. That's fine. If he's going to find a way to contribute, because he looked, outside of Tyrese, he's the other one where he just looked like he was tired.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy who just played 80 minutes in basically like 26 hours. He looked like he had dead legs. And I think that impacted him, to Kyle's point, some of the stuff getting back in transition, of rotating on defense. He just looked like not only were his legs tired, but like his decision-making was a second slow. His commitment wasn't there all the time. And it really was like, this is a wall that he has to play through. Rookie wall isn't just like in January when you're playing more games than you ever have. It's also, you've never played a back-to-back like that. You've never played 40 minutes, traveled, even though it's only to Washington, and played another game. And this is something he has to get used to. And for someone who's never done this and playing only his 4th career NBA game and his 19 going on 20, I think it was a good way to push through it. Was it his best game? No, clearly. He's had some monster games. I hope he's going to have a bunch more monster games going forward. But I think he grinded through it and continued to show the improvement in his skill level.
3 games in 4 nights, basically. They played Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of minutes that he's logged.
That's tough for anybody, let alone a guy doing it for the very first time.
And he still had the wherewithal to knock down those threes that he did make, got fouled on those. And also, if I'm correct, he made the free throws on both of those. He was 2 for 2. And he was still a plus when in his minutes out there on the floor. So he's fine. It was just one that didn't look like the other 3. Mm-hmm. That's all. And tonight, 14 in 40 minutes and still contributing the way that he did. And with those 5 fouls, you like a few of those back. And you could tell the legs were done when he got closer to the rim and he wasn't finishing the same way that he finished yesterday.
Because usually it feels like,
or Saturday, or last
when
Wednesday.
your legs go, your jumper's gone.
Yes.
And that was the only part of his offensive game. His individual scoring, I should say,
Yes.
that was on.
Yep. So no worries there, but his worst game of the 4, and he's still like, damn, that kid's going to be a problem for this league a long time.
It's like, man, if he's already shooting, just think of
the other stuff.
And I will say that I think that catch and shoot jumper is legitimate. Like, I'd love to see it sped up a little bit, but I think his consistency on it through the start of the season is legitimate. And if that's true, even if he doesn't have an off the dribble 3 right now, he is going to murder some dudes at the rim attacking closeouts. Like, he is going to have.
We all wanted him to turn that
lanes.
one over that he ultimately decided to try to kick to the corner.
Yeah, man. What are you doing? Come on,
I get it. Sometimes you gotta show some discretion, but I need one of those to happen. I know it's going to.
He's going to get plenty of those opportunities, man. This team is 4-0. And the MVP, the player of the game for tonight, saving the game. Not just Quentin Grimes and Tyrese Maxey, but Adem Bona. Adem Bona tonight off the bench. 5, count them, 5 block shots from Adem Bona. And on our way out, before we get to the roll call, take a look at all 5 of those block shots from Adem Bona tonight, where he was protecting the rim, and none bigger than the ones that he had there down the stretch. In the end, in the fourth quarter, where he blocked the shot from C.J. McCollum as well.
I still can't believe he got
overtime.
it without goaltending.
I have no idea how he got that one.
We sat here, the 3 of us are looking at the slow-mo like, oh, it's got to be a goaltend
Well,
because
and
it's already so close to the glass.
We said this when they were like 2 frames away from him getting the block. Like, it was right at
And
the
you
end of the
just
play,
see
and we're like, there's no way.
The
He can't
arm
get
and the
that.
hand goes from like out of the picture to on the. It was wild. It's just wild to watch that happen, and the slow mo made you appreciate it even more.
Unbelievable stuff. Great stuff from Bree there, having those ready, alerting us that those were available to us, to give another shout out on the way out to Adem Bona for those 5 block shots tonight. Our player of the game tonight, Adem Bona. Yes, Tyrese Maxey did it again. He's got 39, still leading the NBA in scoring, but Adem Bona came through huge down the stretch with Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond on the bench. Adem Bona, our player of the game. Al, the 2-minute warning. Derek answered this question already in the chat, but we're going to give Al, since he gave it to us here in the super chat, what are the Sixers shooting from 3 so far?
It's 41.9%.
Was Al the one who said they're going to shoot 40% from 3, or was it somebody else?
I don't remember.
I'm thinking Al did.
I think it might be Al.
I would guess if he's asking that question,
I think the
it must
emoji
be
is
him.
suggesting that he's.
Buddy, if they
You
shoot,
were right, Al.
if they shoot more than
you were
40% from 3, like, we'll get you something. Like, dinner on me, because that would be a heck of a prediction.
That'd be a fantastic, fantastic line for the team at the end of the year. All right, that'll do it for us, everybody. Our show coming to you live from the Xfinity Lounge on this late Tuesday night was presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Sign up right now at PHLY 365. New customers get $300 in bonus bet. Deposit $10. Place a bet for $5. $300 in bonus bets. Win or lose, you're getting that nowhere else, only at Bet365. This is the PHLY Sixers postgame show, the only postgame show available to you after the games right here on YouTube throughout the evening. It's time for the world famous, it's the roll call after another win.
Boy, everybody, We're having a good time around here lately,
Are
aren't
we
we?
ever?
We had some tough times last year. We had no idea if they would keep this pick that became VJ Edgecombe, but here we are. Sixers 4-0. The vibes, as Quentin Grimes said, immaculate, except for Devon's microphone apparently falling down at the end of the show.
It's time for us to go home.
It is definitely
By the way,
time to go
Aaron
home.
says Al gets the money from the swear ramp threshold jar. Absolutely right, Aaron. There
All
you
right.
go.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you to Marcus Blackstock. Thank you to Easy Bro.
Easy
40
Bro.
Kid, Bro Neem,
What up?
Elliot, Vincent, Xavier Jones, Joe.
What up, Zay?
Ezra, Aaron,
Aaron.
Bo Wolf,
What up, Bo?
PHLY guy hanging out
Check
with
out
us
the
tonight.
Eagles tomorrow, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, baby. Music Lover 31. Roy Burton.
What up, Roy?
What's up to Roy, who said 99-0 still on the table? He's joining the movement. It's growing each and every day.
So
You're hearing
Vic
it
just
more
dropped
and
it
more.
in there too. Yep.
K Red, Lamar Belton,
What up, Mar?
Garb, DJ, aka Mr. Sandman,
Bring me a dream.
Vince Pellegrini in the building,
Vinny.
Wawa Marvel, Densley,
I'm hungry.
Yams,
Let's go make a run.
Cannoli,
Holy cannoli on a late night.
Elaine Bruno, Grump 856, Fresh Prince 215, Rob T, Chris Miller, Mom's grandchildren hanging out with us on a school night.
Late
What's
night
up to
mom.
Mom? Tom Jackson, Dr. Prince Blue. I don't know when
The doctor?
real Prince Blue became Dr. Prince Blue, but congratulations if you are an actual doctor, my friend. Good job on that one.
Congrats.
KO, Jeff Jones, Joe Carey, Win Forever, Ishmael,
99-0.
Ramid, Vic, Dave P, Sharks for Soccer. Is that like trying to think of a equivalent to Sharks for Soccer? It's too late.
What up, Sharks?
Tired. It's up to Sharks for Soccer. Lost Sleep TV, Hedfa, Kyle Wright, Doug Craig,
What up,
Theo,
Kyle?
Robbie G's, Eugene Ross,
Gene.
Attila, Alphabet Boxing, EJ Barrett with a super
Alphabet
chat
Boxing.
tonight. We had a bunch of super chats tonight. Joaquin from Cherry Hill, James with a super chat, Skunk with a couple super chats, Yams, Jay of the Jungle, also on the guest line, Mark Jackson, Cannoli, Scott Sotan, and of course our guy Al, the 2-minute
What
warning.
up, y'all?
Thank you to Nona. Thank you to Jess.
Hey,
Thank you to
ladies.
Val, Smy Guy, Joaquin from Cherry Hill.
What up, Joaquin?
Rev215, Say A Rider, Dave
Revy
Hall.
Rev.
This is one person, not four, just to be clear.
Okay.
Tim Jim Joe Ryan was one person's name
What's
in the
that
chat.
cartoon that had the kid's name that was all
Ed
in
and Eddie,
Yeah, there you go.
Igavini, Futz, Leem,
What up,
Dave
Futz?
Levine, Remo K, Rich P, Arizona Ron,
Arizona
Sean
Ron.
Havern, Yams for I think the third time
There
now.
you go.
Wrote it down several times. Tyler Simpson, Val Moore, Pat Phoenix, DC Marley, Phi Chi, Flex
DC,
Hoops.
what up?
If I didn't get to you, it's not because I don't like it.
There are
It's
a lot of
because
you.
trying to keep up with all the names in the middle
Yeah.
of the show is very, very difficult. I love you all for being here. I'm real happy for everybody. The Sixers are 4-0. We'll be back on Thursday for a 3 p.m. show, our only 3 p.m. show of the week. As Devon already told you on your way out, could you please get that like counter up and up and up and up? It helps the show. It helps me sleep. It makes these guys feel good. It's a thank you to super producer Bree, who holds it down on the back end. Every damn show, rain or shine, Bree is here making it happen. Say thank you to her. It helps the show. It helps her. It helps us all. And hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you get notifications each and every time we go live.
Yes.
Let's keep having fun, everybody. Until next time, stay safe. Take care of one another. Goodbye.
4-0.
We all silly like the mayor.